Uh-oh, guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Huh? Anybody? Julie, hey, guess what day it is? Oh, come on, I know you can hear me. Mike. What day is it, Mike? Leslie, guess what today is?
It's Hump Day.
Woo-hoo!
That's right. Well, we do the
Woohoo! Yeah, this one I can hear.
All right, the headphones
I'm going
swap.
to cover that intro. I haven't
Wow.
covered. What's going on over there?
Yeah.
Ta-da!
Ta-da. Hello, everybody.
It's another Wednesday. Another week has gone by.
I know it.
And in just 7 days,
Yeah.
our country will be, what?
Another year older.
Another year older, which would make them, what, 246 years old or
so.
something like that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Getting up there.
Yep. Yeah.
Or 242 years old. Yeah, that's right. 242 years old. 1776 to
1776.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
so 242 years old. Not too shabby.
Yeah.
Not bad for a
Snot-nosed kid.
country, you know. Yeah, you know.
Well,
One that everybody wants to come to and everybody
Right.
wants to be like, sort of.
So my wife, who's from another country,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so she's always talking about the fact that she can't get over how young our country is.
Oh,
know,
compared to a lot of countries in the world.
Wow.
Sure.
I mean, and because her country has a heritage goes back thousands of years.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There, I mean, when I was in Germany,
Right.
Went by where my dad's part of our family's from,
Right.
and there's a church there that's older than our country. It's a church in the middle of the town that they still use.
Right.
I mean, it was built back in the 1690s. I'm like, man, this thing's
I know.
almost 100 years older than our whole country.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, and I'm not, I'm not an engineer or, a contractor. So when they talk about they have to, redo Martin Memorial because it's, 20, 30, 50 years, whatever the magic number is.
Yeah.
It's like, I can't wrap my head around that.
Wait a minute. Have you
I've
guys
been
seen
to-
the pyramids? I
I've
want
been to
that
Europe.
contractor.
I've been into buildings in Europe that are, that just dwarf, the age of our country. So I don't know. It's just difficult to process.
Yeah. So we will be taking next week off. We will be celebrating with everybody else.
Yes. Rockets in the air, the whole thing.
I was bummed. I was ready. I was coming in with my Apollo Creed outfit, and we were going to have.
I was going to play Rocky to your Apollo. That would be interesting.
That would have been funny, but no, it's good that we take some time off. That is true.
Oh yeah,
but
yeah, it'd be nice to have a day off.
Yeah, is the golf world going to take the day off?
Well, I mean, it's a pro-am.
Wednesday.
It's a pro-am day.
Oh, they'll
so
play. If
they'll
there's
play
a
the
tournament,
pro-am.
they're playing somewhere.
Oh yeah, they're playing someplace.
They'll be dressed out red, white, and blue. So.
Yeah, this week we have the Quicken Loans event,
Championship.
and Tiger Woods is going to be sporting a new putter, apparently, according to Golf Digest and TaylorMade. Apparently, he's looking at switching to a mallet. Now that's quite a difference from his
Traditional Scotty
Cameron Newport 2, and then he played that Nike kind of a knockoff of it for a little while, and interesting.
So that is interesting because, well, first of all, at players of Tiger's level and stature, they do not switch easily.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever he's been working on has to be quite an improvement. There's got to be something that someone found in his statistics, in his numbers, that said, it's just not working as well. And I'm not a huge fan of mallets.
Yeah.
And I'll give my 2 cents on it. I feel like for a lot of players, the larger heads create a false sense of how long the putter goes back in the stroke.
Mm-hmm.
I think because of the size of the head,
Mm-hmm.
the putter goes back too far.
Okay.
And,
interesting.
And even though the putter's design is supposed to control the twisting and the MOI, right? That's the whole concept. So people are listening at home. The mallet putter or a bigger putter, especially the big ones, the whole idea is that if you make them really square, they don't twist as much, right? That's what MOI is, moment of inertia, right?
Yep.
But for a lot of players, I watch them, especially some of my young junior players that, man, their putting strokes just aren't good. And one of the training aids I use, which is not really a training aid, but it's an old putter from like the 1950s that I bought. I mean, it's a butter knife. I mean, it's the skinniest, thinnest putter. No, I'll bring it in one day. You'll laugh. This thing is the most skinny thing you've ever seen. And I make them putt with it, and they all putt better as soon as I give them just to practice with this. Because
they have to have a better stroke with it. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because you have a much better sense of the length of your backswing, and so it takes away all of the weight and the sizing, and it produces a pure putt. And up until the last 15, 20 years, I mean, the greatest putters of all time, right? Think about it. What have they putted with?
Yeah,
name them if you go through a list. So where you go? Let's go. Ben Crenshaw.
Yeah,
8802.
Yep.
Just keep going down the list.
Yeah.
You don't see a ton of big-headed putters when you associate that with the best putters in the world.
Yeah, Brad Faxon, even Phil Mickelson, who has always used a
blade style
putter. Yeah.
Right. So in my opinion,
Jack bounced around, but he never used anything really big like him.
Well, he won the Masters with that giant McGregor.
but it was an answer style putter.
But it was the size of my foot. It was so big. That's one of those stories where he won, so it was huge. What was it called? McGregor Response.
It was a McGregor something or other. Yeah, it was
a boat.
It was an arc.
It was
big.
Huge. That putter was the biggest putter in the world. If you go watch that video of it's 1986, right?
Yep.
He could have put 8 balls with that putter if he wanted to.
Could have lined them all up, made them all at once.
I think his eyes were really bad. Remember, he couldn't see anything. That's why Jackie was carrying and everything. But I think he needed the putter because he just couldn't find the sweet spot. It was he needed like 8 balls. He couldn't line it up. He couldn't see the line or something.
The 8-ball putter instead of the 2-ball.
Everybody bought that putter after Masters. Everybody had that big. It didn't fit in your bag. You had to buy a special bag for it. The head cover came with extensions. It was that big.
Yeah, really.
And if you got stuck, you could jack your car up with it. It was so big. It had enough leverage. You could just kind of wedge that underneath your tire.
Just kind of give it a rock back on it, and it would lift it right up.
It was magnificent. A lot of players still putting with that every day. I see it.
So, yeah. Well, why would Tiger switch?
Well, it could be a couple things.
At the Memorial earlier this month, of the 73 players that made the cut, when you looked at strokes gained in putting, he was 72nd out of the 73 players.
So it made him think.
He was negative 1.9 strokes per round. It's almost 2 strokes per round he lost to the field in putting. Yeah. He missed 10 putts inside 7 feet on the week. They said if he would have just been
half of that,
even at 0, didn't gain, didn't lose anything, he would have won the tournament by a shot rather than finishing in 23rd.
So how much of a factor do you think is the age? Because they all say, I think you can only make these comments if you are a professional player, right? But they always say that right around 40 is where something happens. It's got to be just part of the aging process, because part of getting older, the function of the brain and the body must change a little, right?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, because you're talking really small, minute details here, right? But, like when Vijay Singh went on his tear, when he was in his middle 40s, it was because of long putter.
Yeah.
And, he wasn't a good putter. No, and then he went long. But he was the best player in the world for that couple years stretch, right? And it was a long putter. Same thing with a lot of players, right? Like Bernard Langert. I mean, talk about a guy that has created.
God, he couldn't putt up until the time he got into the senior tour. For the most part.
Now he's won everything with all kinds of, I mean, again, it was the long putter, then it turned into whatever he's doing now. But so do you think that for Tiger, it's reached that point in his career where he's starting to realize that maybe it's just something's not there anymore?
Maybe. I mean, at the U.S. Open, he only played 2 rounds, 58 putts for 2 rounds.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of putts.
Yeah.
He even
not really. It's still under 30. It's still pretty good.
He even 4-putted from 40 feet.
Yeah, that's open.
This was his first 4-putt in a tour event since 2010. For the season, Woods ranks 89th in strokes gained through putting, despite being 9th in strokes gained overall. So you see how good the rest of his game is when you think about how big putting is for your game.
Oh, it's huge. At that level, it's massive.
And
2 shots, 3 shots. Huge.
And he's 89th.
Yeah. So
but when you look at overall, he's
right
9th.
there. Right.
I mean, if he makes just one more putt around, think how much better he is. So maybe that's his problem. He's not rolling the rock very well.
I think when you start saying, he missed 7 putts inside 10 or 10 putts inside 7. It was 10 putts.
10 putts inside 7.
Yeah, that's not going to do it.
No. And that's very unlike him. Usually he buries those things.
Yeah. Maybe we'll see. I guess we'll find out. So basically, if that putter works, I mean, Tiger should win.
Yeah, I mean, based on the rest of his game, if it improves him just into the middle of the pack from where he is,
right,
he should win.
Yeah,
because he's hitting it close enough and hitting it well enough that if he gets something that can put the ball in the hole, then he should win.
Right.
That's where that aphorism comes from, right?
Yeah.
Drive for show,
putt for dough.
Oh, it all comes down.
Yeah.
It's funny. I work a lot. I mean, I've got 4 really, really good players right now. Well, 3 really good players in my high school group, right, that are going to different high schools. And I do want to say shout out to Tanner Vickers. He's a freshman, going to be a sophomore at Southfork, but he won his first South Florida PGA event this weekend or last week, I should say, and shot 76-71 and actually won in a 2-hole playoff. But the 71 is a very, very solid score.
Well, that's a real good score.
And,
heck yeah.
He's working extremely hard and following direction. He's doing a great job. He's already got a couple colleges already going to start looking at him. But the reason I brought that up is, when it comes to putting, right now, Tanner hits the ball good enough to shoot under par, but the conversions, right, the ability to make the putts and bring the score down isn't there yet. And it's not necessarily because he's a bad putter, but he's just not hitting it close enough, right? Because it all comes down to good players. They hit enough balls in play. They hit enough greens in regulation. Yeah. How do you get it closer? So now we're trying to dive into why he hits it closer, which clubs work better, or what landing areas or what yardages are really the best yardages for him to get close to have a chance.
Okay.
Right. And that's really what I've been doing for years. And it's really helped a lot of players. But again, it goes back to, if you can't make 7-footers, right?
Yeah.
You're not gonna go under par.
Yeah, because you're not gonna hit too many inside 7 feet.
No, I mean, lucky in a round. I mean, even with good players, if you hit 3 to 5 shots around inside 10 feet, I mean, you're going to go low. And I talk about this all the time, things I write, blogs and everything. But for good players, the par 5s are a given. They should be under par, right? The par 3s, they should be even on the par 3s. You don't want to give away a tournament. It's really comes down. Look at every tournament you watch. It comes down always to those 10 par 4s and what do you do with them? And what are those proximity numbers? Are you really having legitimate shots for birdie? I mean, obviously, I bet you if you ran Tiger's numbers, his fairways, greens, and proximity numbers have to be really good.
Pretty good, yeah.
10 putts at 7 feet. Jordan Spieth would shoot 60 when he was hot, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So that's kind of what it comes down to. So I guess we're going to find out this week. Where's the Quicken Loans at? I wasn't following.
You had to ask me.
I know,
I'm not sure offhand. I'm looking something else up at the moment.
You are? Well,
yeah.
I'm gonna be interesting to see. That should be kind of interesting this week to take a look. So those people are listening, take a look this week and see what Tiger does. Because if Tiger makes those 7-footers, Tiger will win that tournament. That's really what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
He's hitting it good enough to win. So he's playing good enough to win every week. Is what we just. That's what you just said.
He's playing. Yeah, he's playing good enough to be in the hunt every week. Yeah,
every week. And that's good news for him and golf.
Yeah.
And a lot of guys went quiet though after the Open. It's like you haven't heard that much from.
God, they all went home and put their head in a freezer. I don't know what they did.
You want to talk about it again? Because last week that was fun. Last week, I loved that show last week. I probably just watch it again.
Well, Phil Mickelson's been doing the apology tour. He's been going around apologizing for what he did.
I even talked about on the Friday show. There was a lot of conversation about what we talked about on the Wednesday show.
Oh, really?
And we revisited that because a lot of people in studio and even listeners were confused still about the apology and what was going on and and so because I
Was
blessed to sit in with you guys. I had
all the info.
I had some knowledge.
Wow, Frank, you must have looked sharp on Friday. They were blown away.
There you go. What is this guy? Where did he get this information? So you got to listen every Wednesday, then you'll know this stuff.
And you know this stuff.
Yeah.
So I think this whole apology tour thing is nothing but dollars.
Oh yeah,
it's nothing but dollars. Feels like, what did I just do? How much is that going to cost me? What did my agent just say? Who's mad at me now? What? Hey, I'm really sorry.
Yeah. Oops.
It's like no, I don't know what happened. I'm getting older, and my brain just flipped on me. I had a senior moment.
I was on Ambien. It made me Ambien.
My back hurts. I take so much medication. Would you like me to endorse your medication? I promise not to stab another putt at the U.S. Open again.
Well, you know who could use some medication?
Who could use some medication?
John Daly.
Oh, for what?
Well, speaking of
I'm
the
glad
U.S.
you brought
Open,
him up. I'm glad you brought him up.
The U.S. Senior Open.
Okay.
John Daly claims that he has a nagging knee injury that makes it difficult for him to walk, and walking 18 holes is pretty much impossible. Well, he's now unhappy. And unhappy is like the nice word for it. After the USGA has denied him use of a golf cart during the U.S. Senior Open. He is withdrawn from the tournament, saying he needs a cart due to his knee, and which makes it difficult for him to walk the course. He says, quote, "I've been fighting this for so long, and it's my career they're screwing around with here. I'm pissed because I've been playing good golf and I want to play golf. That's what I do for a living. But, you know, you can't walk 18 holes, you can't walk 18 holes," end quote. Well, Daly, who's 52 years old, says his attorneys told him that he should be able to use a cart due to the Americans with Disabilities Act. However, the USGA reviewed his medical records and determined that his injury didn't qualify him
as a disability,
to be disabled and thus need a cart. They offered him to provide additional information, like from a doctor you just went and saw, not what somebody wrote 6-8 months ago. And instead of giving the information that they've asked for, he instead decided that he's just going to withdraw and sulk in the corner. John Daly says he doesn't plan to make the case a legal one. Yeah, that's until some attorney gets a hold of him, I'm sure. Says he will see what happens after he has a procedure on Friday to clear out loose cartilage from his knee. He says it's tough enough being in a golf cart trying to play.
Well,
yeah, that makes it tough.
So let's start this one by, first of all, I think John Daly is a really important part of golf.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he is.
Because I think he balances out a lot of people that watch the game, right?
That's one way to put it.
That look at golf a little differently than maybe a lot of people do. However, I think that, there's a lot of guys over 50, right?
Mm-hmm.
That have sore backs and sore joints and bad wrists. And you know what? They go take care of it. They get procedures done. They get in the gym. They lose a little weight.
Mm-hmm.
They do what they have to do, right? So they can continue to play. Now, I don't think John Daly is spending very much time with a trainer or in a gym or watching his diet or taking care of his body to the point where his knee could be better. And I think that's what
depends on what your diet consists of.
Right. And I'm not going to criticize that whole whatever. That's John Daly. He is who he is, right?
Yep.
But, after all those years and all the stuff and all the things he's gone through, your body's going to take it's, when Tiger won the U.S. Open and beat Rocco Mediate and his knee was basically falling out of its socket or joint, right? And remember Tiger won? I mean, he played it and he toughed it. And, it's just hard to do when you're 52. But
mm-hmm.
I'm glad he's not making it legal at this point. But did you know that John Daly shot 67 last week with sandals on? He played the tournament with golf sandals. Open toe sandals.
Well, if your knee's bothering you, I would think sandals is probably not a really good thing to wear.
No,
I mean,
well,
maybe that's the USGA's
they were
point.
golf. They were golf sandals.
Yeah, I've seen the golf sandals. Yeah,
but
they have little cleats on the bottom of them,
right.
So you can actually.
But part of what gives you your
support.
back and knee
mm-hmm.
and problems are the arch support.
Yeah, no arch support on those whatsoever. They're just as flat as your head.
Well, look at Daly's swing, though. His swing has, when you swing that long and have that much force, his legs have to take a lot of shock, right?
Yeah.
And so if you're not taking care of your knees, and I'm sure they're sore, and I'm sure they've got cartilage moving around, but okay, well, get it done. Go get them cleaned out and do some rehab and strengthen out the muscles, and take some glucosamine or whatever you got to do, and whatever you can take that's legal.
Right.
Shark cartilage and whatever else. Ask VJ for some deer antler.
Yeah,
you remember when that came out?
How did that work?
I know it worked great.
Deer antler spray.
Right,
I remember that. Yep,
yeah. And he got banned for that.
Oh, he sure did. He sure did. He got
big stuff.
He got his hand slapped for that.
Yeah. When's the last time John Daly had a drug test? What do you think?
I don't. I wonder. I mean, they never announce any of that stuff, but that it's going on. There is testing being done. That's interesting. That would be.
Well, we don't want to go there. That'll be a whole nother comment. But I think that the U.S. Open is a better event with John Daly.
Yeah,
and it's too bad that is.
Yeah, the U.S. Senior Open. Yeah, I agree.
And if you tell an athlete that you can't compete in golf because your knee hurts, you know what a real athlete would tell you, right?
Yeah.
No. Basketball player, big event, shot a cortisone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, go get him. Go get him.
I mean, I'm again, he's 52. How much more does he have on that knee? But I'd take a shot and play.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's 2 days. I mean, now U.S. Open's not John Daly's really type of event normally. And I'm not even following where it's at this year, but usually tight fairways and fast greens and a lot of rough is not Daly-esque. But
no, well, especially if you got a bad knee. Some sad news in the world of golf. World Golf Hall of Famer Hubie Green passed away.
Wow, he wasn't that old.
On Tuesday at the age of 71.
Yeah,
not old.
No.
Followed a long battle with throat cancer.
Oh, that's
tough. Played with a homegrown swing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he had he looked where he had his hands real low and kind of slung it at it. Yeah. It worked for him.
He did it. He could play.
I happened to have met Hubie Green at one of the practice rounds at the Masters when I was a kid. We're talking, I was maybe 9.
You remember it?
9 or 10. I remember it because I had a hat on that I was in. It was like a bucket hat, and I was getting certain players to sign it. And I liked Hubie Green. I thought he was kind of a cool dude. And he was coming down one of the fairways, and I went across one of the crosswalks where they would let you, cross. And I kind of timed it so I got there about when he got there. And I asked him if he'd sign my hat while he was going. He goes, "Sure, I would, yeah." So he signs my hat, and then he takes the hat and he pulls it down over my head so it covers my eyes. And he spins me around a couple of times and walks away. So I was kind of standing there in the middle of the fairway, kind of going, "What the heck just happened?"
And he probably laughed.
He laughed. He laughed. And I finally pulled my hat. I looked at him, and he gave me a thumbs up as he was walking down towards the green.
That's a really good story.
Pretty cool cat. That's sad news.
It is sad news.
Yeah, never won the Masters. Did win the 85 PGA Championship. 19 career victories. That's a lot. And was inducted into the Hall of Fame back in 2007.
Was he a Texan? Does it say?
Alabama.
Alabama
native. Yep.
Alabama native.
So
good old boy.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it was a good old boy, and like I said, pretty nice gentleman.
A lot of color characters back there. Everybody had a lot of different, colorful people. All kinds of different backgrounds.
This is a guy that you talk about how tough the U.S. Open is.
Mm-hmm. How tough is it?
In 1980, at Baltusrol, he had 8 straight threes on his card.
Wow.
That's some pretty good golf at the U.S. Open. You can put a three down for 8 straight holes.
Wow.
You don't hear that very often.
Yep.
No, not at all.
All right. We're going to check in with our guys on 15.
All right. Be back in a little bit.
130 yards now. Bill's got a very tough lie here. Looks like we have some sort of sea monster in the water hazard here. I believe that's a Kraken, Bruce. He looks like he's going to go with the 9-iron. That may not be enough club. Well, he's definitely going to lose a stroke on this hole.
On this date in 1963, Wipeout hit the charts.
All right.
And the world hasn't been the same since. Yes, the Safaris.
Sweet.
Yeah, it's very cool. I love that stuff.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
One other last thing about Hubert Green, who passed away this past week. We were mentioned how well he played at the 1980 U.S. Open. He had 8 straight threes on his card. In 1977 at Southern Hills, he had 7 straight threes on his card.
That's golfing, man.
And this is a gentleman that played the closing holes under a death threat in 1977 at the U.S. Open. A caller had called and left a message that Green would be shot on the 15th green if he played.
Nice.
But talk a
little pressure.
Talk about a little pressure. You get to the 15th tee and you're like, okay, here we go. But he persevered, winning his first of 2 major championships. So he won the U.S. Open in 77 and the 1985 PGA Championship at Cherry Hills. So
it's pretty amazing.
Yeah,
pretty amazing.
That's crazy though when you think about somebody calling into. Jeez.
Doesn't say why. Nobody remembers probably why would they?
Why someone called in?
Yeah, that's like,
who knows? Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. We have a tendency to think just the craziness that we experience every day is just more recent.
Oh no, it's been happening forever.
Yeah, it's been happening for.
It's just now we have social media and cameras and we see everything.
Right.
Yeah.
An instant notification of everything. You don't read about it in the paper the next day.
Right.
The U.S. Senior Open is being played this week at the Broadmoor.
Oh, that's where we were asking. So that's in Colorado, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Well,
that's a good event for Daly.
Yeah, it would have been a great event.
Yeah, that would have been a good one for Daly.
Fox Sports has coverage of this. Starts at 4 p.m. tomorrow. 3:30 on Friday, and then 4 p.m. on Saturday and Sunday. That's Fox Sports 1.
Not on regular Fox.
So it's not on regular Fox. They probably got some reality show.
So
they'd rather
Broadmoor probably plays 7,000 plus for seniors, but it doesn't play that long because of the
Yeah.
altitude.
Yeah.
You know, Daly would be hitting, you know, he'll still hit 350-yard drives on that golf course.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. I went one year. I got invited to the Dominican Republic. I had been there to the Cap Cana Resort and the Punta Espada Golf Club. I had been there when they first opened it to play and write about what all they were doing. And when they had a senior event there, I got invited to go back and cover the senior event. That was I had a great time. That was a lot of fun.
It's a great place.
And
Dominican
it was
gorgeous.
It was interesting walking around that course because I had played the course. So I'm walking around and I'm looking at the booklet they gave us, and it's got the yardages for all the holes. And I'm like, man, some of these holes are playing pretty long, especially the ones over by they're right on the ocean that are into the wind or whatever. And I walked over to one hole. I think it was the 12th hole. I walked over and I looked and I went, there's no way it's playing that long. I mean, I played from that set of tees and it wasn't that long. And I go over there and I look, and sure enough, the marker
was not on where it was supposed to be.
The marker I understand they moved the tee markers around,
mm-hmm.
but in order for the hole to have played as long as they stated it was in the book, they would have had to go behind the advertising that sits behind the tee.
Oh, to get it there.
And behind the tower that was behind the tee.
Well, that was really strange, right?
I'm like, and what was weird was it was that way on several of the holes. They must have added like 300 yards to the scorecard.
Just for that, just to make that course look long.
That wasn't actually there.
Right.
When you walked the golf course and you looked at the markers gotcha. You found the sprinkler heads, or you looked at the tee and you're like, no, I've played this course. I know.
So they had, was it actually a tee box, or was it just like a no area? Though, was it a real tee box back there?
Oh, it was a tee box.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they could play it there.
They could have played it there, but they couldn't for the tournament because they built
the stands around it.
They built the stands around it, and it's like, well, heck, I got to hit off Joey's head in the 7th row back here in the grandstand in order to play this par 3. The distance they've got, they're showing they're playing it.
That would be a tee shot.
Yeah, that would have been interesting.
That would have been. Yeah. The senior. I watched a little replay of some of the senior from last week's event, right? And
mm-hmm.
It is pretty fun because there's a lot of guys on that leaderboard that we grew up watching, right? The Fred Couples, and
mm-hmm.
There's just a lot of names up there that I think a lot of people still like to watch. I thought
mm-hmm.
Freddie Couples, he was kind of hobbling with his back, but he still swings like Freddie Couples, boy. He just still picks that thing up, turns, and really hits it.
And hits it.
Yeah, it was really fun watching him do that. So be interesting to see who wins that Senior Open.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Even though John Daly can't walk the course.
Yeah.
You think let me ask you a question about that. So did you think did he officially withdraw?
Yes, he has officially withdrawn.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't like, so
he might be back, he might change his mind tomorrow. No, he's given up his spot.
He's given up his spot already. So
yep. And I don't think you can go back on that and suddenly become an alternate.
No.
Never mind.
Yeah, I was just kidding.
Yeah, you show up and you go, oh, damn, my attorney really did send that email.
And he kind of realized that, you're guaranteed a purse at the Open no matter. You're going to get a check, right? Isn't that true? In the majors, I think even if you miss the cut, you still get money, right?
That I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's true.
That I don't know.
I could be wrong.
But do you know that at the U.S. Open, Tommy Fleetwood, who finished second all by himself.
Yeah, Mr. 63 in the no-win.
Still made over $1 million.
Well, he finished tied for what?
He finished second all by himself.
Yeah, that big money.
I think it was 1.2 million
and
for
the winner
second place.
Winner got 1.8?
1.8 something, yeah.
That was a nice 63.
Holy crap. Talk about how much money he made himself with that 63 that he shot.
And don't get us started again, because the 63 wasn't the same golf course as the guys that played in the afternoon.
Well, you mean the day before?
The day before, but even
in the afternoon of the day before, because
the day before, that when he shot that, it was that there was no way you could shoot 63
on Saturday. No, not unless you went off at about 4 a.m.
Yeah. And didn't count the first 6 holes.
Exactly. The Scottish Open is usually played as a kind of a warm up before the British Open. Phil Mickelson, Patrick Reed, and Tommy Fleetwood have just announced that they are going to be playing in the event. They'll be joining Matt Kuchar and Ricky Fowler as the other big names playing at the Scottish Open. The week before the Open Championship.
I think that'd be a fun event to go watch too. I think that's something I'd like.
I bet
to
it
go
would
see.
be. Yeah.
Yeah. I would rather. Well, we already know that the U.S. Open is not on my list. The PGA is a second. The Masters is very cool. I think the British Open would be my second pick if I had to. I know it sounds bad because I don't. Our own national championship, but I think it'd be much more interesting as a spectator to go see.
Oh yeah,
the what's over in Europe. I mean, to see that whole.
Yeah, I mean it's just so different.
I mean, what a good trip if you could take 2 weeks and go see the Scottish and then go watch the Open.
And you don't have to hear anybody yelling, "Get in the hole" when Bubba Watson tees off on a par 5.
Right. Well, how about Bubba though?
Because they would thump you and take you. They would thump you and take you away.
They would take you right away and lock you up and put you in a trash can and have you sent away to not return.
Exactly. Speaking of Bubba, he won this past week.
I know.
Played well.
Crazy.
What's going on?
His wife must have gave him another kick in the pants and said, "Stop whining, go make a check." Like
stop your whining. We need money.
But I think she said it a little better than Lucas Glover's wife did.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, ouch.
TPC River Highlands in Cromwell, Connecticut. Start the final round 6 shots behind leader Paul Casey, but shoot a 7 under par 63 and win the tournament for the 3rd time. But I think Bubba Watson likes this place.
I never knew that.
Finished 17 under par, 3 shots clear of Casey and 3 others.
So another 63 on the Sunday.
You come from 6 back to win by 3.
Light it up. He's won that tournament 3 times.
3 times now. Yep.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yep.
Just in case any of my players are listening out there, I always tell them, you like the kid that just won, like Tanner won. anytime you win in a tournament, anytime there's another tournament at that course, go play it. Because it's true. It's something about having success at a golf course, and it's got to be mental, right? But when you have a good vibe and you've played well someplace, so I was telling him, look, you have St. Lucie County Amateur, go play it. Any tour event or any event that you can play as an amateur that's there, go play it because you're probably going to do well. So that's another example of that with Bubba Watson winning 3 times at the same place.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think he puts that on his schedule every year?
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Oh yeah. Must be some good food, or maybe the bed in the Motel 6 is a little better there.
It's got to just suit his eyes, and it's probably got big trees like the Masters, and he can fire over things, and it's like, hey, it's an easy 1,000,001. I'll just show up and take home another check.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Well, Tommy Fleetwood shot the 63 that we taught and didn't win. Thorbjorn Olsen shot an all-time tournament low 11 under par 61 in the final round of the BMW Invitational.
Didn't win?
Didn't win. Finished 1 shot back of Matt Wallace, who shot a bogey-free 65 on Sunday.
Wow.
For his 2nd European Tour title of the season.
Bogey-free is impressive. The guy shot 61 with a bogey?
No, the other guy shot 65 without a bogey.
The guy who shot 61 probably had a bogey then.
Olsen shot 61. Wow. He made 9 birdies and an eagle.
9 and an eagle.
On the 7,200-yard golf club Gut Lachenhof layout.
Gut Lachenhof.
That's easy for you to say.
Lachenhof. Yeah, hey.
Gesundheit.
Exactly. Went off real early. He was actually done and in the clubhouse before the leaders went off.
Well, 61 will make you move a lot.
Yeah, he moved way up, stuck a 9 under par on the board, and went, okay, I got 5 hours to kill.
Take a nap. I'd go back to the hotel. I'd change my clothes. And what happens if you get a playoff? Just deal with it.
You come back in a completely different outfit, and people are like, "Wait a minute, what's this?" I changed.
So we're getting ready to take our last break, Frank. Is that what we're
take our
doing?
last break?
Yes.
If you want to give us a call,
please do.
We got a phone. It rings, and we'll answer it.
Yeah.
220-9788, area code 772. If you want to join us, we'll be right back.
See you in a little bit.
All right. Now, I bet you dollars to donuts you guys won't know this.
I know the song, but I can't place it. I can't place what
Captain
TV series.
Kangaroo.
Captain Kangaroo.
Bob Keeshan was born on this date in 1927.
I watched me a lot of Captain Kangaroo when I was a kid. I'll tell you. Oh yeah, him and Mr. Green Jeans.
Sure, absolutely.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Very cool stuff. Here, try that mic. Try that. Yeah, there you go. But anyway, so little Captain Kangaroo is just he was a really kind of an interesting guy.
My Facebook watchers are going, what? Because I'm not plugged into
You're
your
not
feed
plugged
today,
in, so they're getting nothing.
Frank played Captain Kangaroo.
You get nothing.
You missed it.
You got to go to YouTube and Google Captain Kangaroo intro, and you'll get it.
There you go.
Yeah.
So before, because I'm going to run out of power here, right? But go ahead. Tell me what you told me on the break about the guy that shot the 61.
Okay, Thornbjorn Olsen goes out and shoots 61 on Sunday.
61 on Sunday, almost wins.
Post the lead and at the clubhouse before the 54-hole leaders even go off.
Right.
And I asked Arlen, what do you think he shot on Saturday? Well, Olsen shot we talk about this all the time, how weird it is that you can have one great day and then a what was I thinking day, or vice versa.
Right.
Shot a 77 on Saturday. So he had a 16-shot improvement from one day to the next.
And I tell this to and the reason I asked you to bring that up, because I explain this to my players I coach all the time. And you know what? It is so strange, right? So, you shoot the 77 and you're like, oh man. And either you pack it up or you just go out and play free.
Yeah.
And when you just go out and play free and you don't have expectations and you just do what you do, that's when those scores come out. Like I always tell players,
that's when your muscle memory and everything else just kind of kicks in, because it knows what it's doing.
The secret,
and everything's out of the way now.
It is. The secret's expectation, right? So if you go into something thinking you got to play well or shoot a score, you always struggle. If you just go out and hit your fairway and hit your green and roll your ball nicely, that's when magic happens. And that's another perfect example of this crazy game where, there's a guy, he's obviously a world-class player, but he shoots a 77, right? Which is not a good score for a good player, right?
Yeah.
And then turn around and shoot a 61. That was a total let go, free release, take a deep breath. I got nothing to lose. I'm just going to go out, have a good time and whack this thing. And that's when magic comes out. So if you're listening out there and you're watching this, just remember that if you go out and you're trying to shoot a score and you're trying to play well, you're probably going to stink it up a little bit. So just go
pressing too hard.
You can't. Yeah, it's just, and it's mental.
And what would have been neat was, I wonder after he posted that score, all of a sudden he's now basically in the lead, or he's got a score now that these guys got to go out and shoot at because it was so low.
Right.
Do you walk by the range? While these guys are warming up and kind of point at the leaderboard and go, I'm going to go have a cup of coffee and grab some lunch. I put that there.
I would. I'd be like, hey, Mikey, how you doing? 61 today. Yeah, good luck with that. Hope your expectations are high. Yes, play really well. You're going to have to catch me. I'm sure that'll work for you.
Yeah, I'm just going to put this right here.
Yeah, let me show you 60. I just shot 61. Good luck with that. You can't touch me. Great story.
And this was after they had some crazy weather on Thursday. Thursday's round was the 5th hardest on the European Tour this season, scoring average wise.
Because of weather or whatever?
Yeah, the weather. Not one player carded a bogey-free round.
Wow.
After how usually after the first day you got a bunch of guys out there to kind of jackrabbit out there and throw a low score up, and you got 150 some players in the field. Only 22 players were under par after the first day. That's how tough the course was.
That's a hard golf course.
That's how tough it was playing between the weather and the golf course itself. So I was watching some highlights, and I forget what event it was that what's his name? Ari Lahiri from India was playing, and they showed him on a par 3, and he hit his tee shot, and it darn near went in the hole. It rolled up and literally stopped right beside the hole, just to the right of the hole. So he almost had a 1, had a tap in 2. The very next hole is a par 5. He hits his second shot, and it takes like 3 big bounces, runs up on the green, and literally stops in the exact same spot on the left side of the hole. He darn near had a 1 and a 2 on back-to-back holes. Wound up with a 2 and a 3, which is pretty good for a par 3 and a par 5. Sure. But darn near had a 1 and a 2.
That's a great backup. Yeah, that would win a lot of bets on an afternoon game with your buddies.
Oh yeah. Imagine that Skins game. Playing in that Skins game would have been great. What'd you have? I had a 1, and then the next one I had a 2.
I think I got some Skins at that.
Yeah. Let's see. The ladies.
Can't leave out the ladies.
No, don't want to leave out the ladies.
No.
We're playing at the Pinnacle Country Club in Rogers, Arkansas.
Holy mackerel. Rogers, Arkansas is on the schedule?
Arkansas, yeah.
Wow. What's in Rogers, Arkansas? Do tell.
Apparently a golf course is there.
It's got to be one. It's got to be one.
Yeah, there's one
Arkansas's got what, 12 golf courses?
and a Bill Clinton library.
Yeah. Don't forget that.
No, Arkansas has a lot of nice golf courses.
Yeah.
None of them we can think of.
Yeah, really. NASA Hatoka was your winner.
From Sweden?
Shot a final round 63. The event was only 54 holes. I'm not sure whether that was because of weather or what. But
that's kind of short.
And there's a reason why they were in Arkansas. Guess who the sponsor of the event was?
Walmart.
There you go.
Oh, boom. Chugga-lugga-lugga.
There you go.
That makes sense.
Finished. Now, she only played 54 holes. They only played 54 holes.
Yeah.
She finished 21 under par.
Holy mackerel.
Won by 6 shots.
She lit it up.
There were some good finishes this weekend.
Yeah,
I mean, some great final rounds being played by
21 in a 54 hole
21 under on a 54 hole tournament.
7 under every day.
Yeah.
That's golfing.
That's knocking your ball around pretty
good. You
good
don't see that too often. You see that sometimes on some other, like, you don't see that a lot. You see the Hawaiian Open, that's about the only one or out in or the one in the in the desert in Palm Springs, you see some of those scores, but 65 every day will do.
I'd take that.
Lots of damage. That's for sure.
I'd take a lot of money to the bank with that. That's for sure. Let's see what else we got going on. Let's see. We have regional qualifying for the Open Championship. You can actually go by the openchampionship.com and find out if there's a place near you, because they actually are holding qualifying
for the Open
here for the Open Championship here in the United States.
I didn't know they did that.
Yeah, you can
I always thought you had to go over there.
Nope. You can actually. I mean, you can advance into the later stages of it.
Oh, this is like
playing here. So, but not too shabby. It's kind of neat.
And haven't done something like that in a long time.
Yeah, I've never done that.
My last U.S. Open qualifier was at Willoughby Golf Club, and it's got to be, holy cow. 2002,
long time ago.
That's terrible.
You sound like Charles Barkley. Terrible.
Terrible, I tell you.
That's terrible.
I would have beat Barkley though, with one hand and one leg.
You're talking about on the golf course, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yep. One other loss in the game of golf. We talked about Hubert Green passing away. Peter Thompson also passed away.
Oh, great Australian or South?
Great Australian player. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
It's that time. Those guys are all in their 70s.
He came. 70s. Yeah, he came up. Right along with Nicholas. I mean, he was in that same era.
He was Australia's best player throughout that whole era.
Yes, he was.
Yeah. Yep. Like Gary Player was South Africa. He never quite won the majors to put him into that top 4 with the 4 the 4 big guns.
Yeah.
But he was good. He was in a lot of events. And Bob Charles was kind of part of that group too.
Yep.
But he was from New Zealand.
And he was a left-hander too, so it's kind of hard to take him seriously.
Oh man, he was a good player though. Bob Charles was tough. Bob Charles was tough. Are we at that time? No. We can't be
already.
Frank.
Already.
That's impossible.
It's the fastest hour in radio.
It's the fastest hour in golf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's because we're fun.
That's right. That's us. We're fun.
We are, and we're knowledgeable, and we're good at this.
That's right. We should have a show.
Man, we should. everybody should call in, and we should have giant sponsors sending us checks from all over the globe.
That's what we really
Frank, you get a cut. Let us know if one
All
comes
right.
in.
Okay.
We're asking for it now.
Yeah. Oh, no, by the way, I did send your idea to the Volvic guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
About different colored golf balls all over the world.
Well, we'll send it to Elon Musk and seeing if he, like making a 9-pack, one for each planet, and sending it up in SpaceX. I haven't heard back yet.
Okay.
We'll let you know. Don't hold your breath.
We'll keep you posted.
Take
Good
care.
night, everybody.
All right. Have a good week.